I thought I'd make a video on SilverAnt's rice cooker, but with a twist. Now, I've got 2 ounces of alcohol in here, and I don't know if I can show you this. I probably can't. But the water is just barely covering the rice, and there's 1 cup of rice in there. Here's what there is. So what I'm going to do is I'll kick off the alcohol stove. Now, I got 2 ounces of alcohol in there. That's it. That's all I have. And this is on the Evernew setup, which allows me to get this to simmer. And it's starting to go now. I love Evernew stoves because they bloom so quickly and they waste less alcohol. You can always wave if you want to get a stove to bloom a lot quicker. So this is what I'm going to do. Now, I'm also going to add some carrot to the rice, which actually will give it a little bit of flavor. And I'm going to add an egg and hard boil it. So this way I have a hard boiled egg. Okay. Now this just goes on top. Just like that. And we just let it go now. Now, the idea behind this is a 1-pot meal, basically. And I'm not sure if the egg's going to be hard-boiled. I don't have a clue. I can normally get about 25 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes with it cooking like this. It takes a little while to get steam to start coming out of the top of the rice cooker. So what I did with SilverAnt's rice cooker is I used this new knife I picked up for food prep, which is the SE Zulu in like a stainless. And I cut the carrots up and then just added them in the pot, as you've seen. Now, I kept this very simple, as you noticed. I mean, all I've got here is the Evernew stove setup with the Evernew alcohol stove and the SilverAnt, rice cooker here. 1 cup of rice. I just covered the rice a little bit. You could go a half a knuckle. And then I just threw the egg and the carrots in. And that's it. Now, I got a couple different recipes I'm going to mess with, so you're going to see a few more videos on this. And I've got some stuff coming in. So, the whole idea is with this setup is not to cook it hot, fast, and quick. You can't do that with rice. Now, the rice itself, I soaked it for 30 minutes, okay? And then that's when I added it to it. And I've got like a simmer going on with the alcohol stove, which in turn is slowly heating up the inside of that pot. And what I want is more steam inside that pot because the steam is what gets really hot. Now, I know the rice is going to turn out fine because I've made so many rice dishes on this. It's just unbelievable. And I don't know if the egg's actually going to be hard-boiled. That's what I'm kind of curious about. So if I can get the carrots to be soft and the rice to be soft and the egg to be hard-boiled, then I'm going to have a nice little rice meal there, right? And that's what I'm looking at. Now the clock here, I hope you can see it, is to give you an idea of how long this is taking. and the steps that are actually happening, as you can see from the clock as it ticks off. Now, I'm not going to record the whole 35 minutes here of it cooking, so to save you the hassle of all that, I'm going to fast forward, but you can see the clock on the time that's actually going to go on. And this should work out pretty good. Now, if the egg does come out hard boiled like I want, then that means I could take like 4 eggs with me backpacking, and I could throw them in the rice cooker and have myself rice. Carrots can't break, so I mean, take a couple carrots with me, and have this amazing meal that takes less than, well, about 1 hour to make. I can clean the rice with the inner pot of the SilverAnt rice cooker because it has holes in it, and then I could just let it sit in this pot for 30 minutes and tell Siri to give me a timer at 30 minutes and leave the water sit there while the rice soaks. And then throw the carrots in, throw the egg in, and 2 ounces of alcohol, and light it up and leave it alone. During this time, I can go off and set up my tarp. I can set up my camp while this is doing what it needs to do. So that is very important, trying to get your time of what you're doing. So I get in the camp. I say, okay, I'm going to wash my rice and I'm going to put it in the pot and I'm going to let it soak. That gives me 30 minutes. So 30 minutes only takes me 5 or 10 minutes to set up the tarp. So I get that set up. And then I start unpacking and getting organized. Well, then I kick this off after 30 minutes, throwing the egg, throwing the carrot, or whatever else I'm going to do. And when camp is all set up, I'm going to have a hot meal sitting there, is what I'm going to have. So at the same time, I do have another alcohol stove to where I'll be setting that up to boil some water, and then I can have myself a tea or coffee, and both will get done around the same time. So I'll have a really nutritious meal, and it'll taste really good, way better than dehydrated food. Okay, and I'm doing all this practice so I can get an idea on what I can actually cook and what I can push myself into. And I have, like I said, I have some stuff coming in, which is different recipes I'm going to try. Now, by having these recipes and the videos and up on YouTube, that means I can access them with my phone and when I'm out camping and say, oh yeah, I want to try and make that. That's mainly the purpose of doing this. And if anybody else is watching and picks up a SilverAnt rice cooker, they may find this quite interesting. So I'll be back. Now you're going to start hearing whistling. And you start hearing the whistling about 21 minutes or so, 22 minutes. And the whistling is really good news because that means it's really getting hot in there now. So at about 27 minutes, I ran out of alcohol, so it's done. You don't want to open it yet. Hey Siri, give me a 5-minute timer.
5 minutes counting down.
So now you want to, when the alcohol runs out, you want to set a timer for 5 minutes. We want to optimize the heat that's inside this thing. And we really want to use it. Believe it or not, the rice is still cooking with that pressure inside this pot. So first we wash the rice. Then we put just enough water to go over top of the rice, or half a knuckle. I added the carrots, I added the egg, and then I just let it cook away. Usually get about 30 minutes if I do a slow simmer on an alcohol stove with 2 ounces, and let it go. By this time, the entire camp is set up. I'm sitting back in my chair relaxing. I'm having a coffee. I set my timer for the 5 minutes that I'm waiting on, and I'm going to have a really, really good hot meal. Now, to show you what I mean about when I open this, you'll notice that the steam will come out. See that? So that's pretty impressive. I really like SilverAnt's little handles and all the cool stuff their stuff does. I really do. Now this will come out. Okay. Notice there's nothing there. And if we look at this, okay, I got a little bit of water in there. Is what I have. Now, what I want to do is I want to take my egg out and set that aside. And hopefully, it's a hard-boiled egg. My carrots are there. Look at the fork. It went right in there. See that? So the carrots are all nice and soft. So then, keep from burning myself here, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to lift up on this. And there we go. So the rice looks like it turned out pretty good. Look at that. Nothing stuck in there. Good sign. So then, if I take this, and look how fluffy that is, it just falls away. That's what I want. Okay. There's my carrot. I could have added more carrot, but this is good for the demonstration that I'm showing you. Now the carrot I didn't wash or anything. The carrot, all I did was cut it and throw it in there. And you have to figure, you know, I'm an old guy, right? So if I can eat a carrot and I got no teeth, you know it's soft. And that's all there is to it. Okay, there's my egg. I have peeled all the shells and put them off here in the corner. And here's the trick. Did it actually work? Look at that. Beautiful. So that did turn into a hard-boiled egg like I wanted. So I've got one hard-boiled egg, some carrot, some rice. And now I just need to put some soy sauce. Perfect. I don't usually like to eat on video, but rice, nice and soft. The carrot, nice and soft. Hard-boiled egg. All cooked in the SilverAnt Rice Cooker. A meal fit for a king. I am going to have some more little recipes coming up with this. So anybody that's bought the SilverAnt Rice Cooker may want to sub, and or if you're thinking about it, and giving this a shot on different things that you can try doing. So again, wash the rice, soak it for 30 minutes. And you can wash it in here because it has little holes. After 30 minutes, cover the rice a little bit after it's inside the rice cooker. 2 ounces of alcohol. Set it on simmer. If you're using a regular titanium alcohol stove, just set the pot right on top of it. That'll make it simmer, but make sure it's blooming already. It'll go for almost 30 minutes. After it dies, give it another 5 minutes to cook inside. And then you're ready to go and you're ready to eat. So, what are you waiting for? Go get a SilverAnt Titanium Rice Cooker and really expand your palate on what you're eating back in the wilderness. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.